Brought the Yahweh, brought the Yahweh Shah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Bahadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called black Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up by Esau, Amalek. I'm gonna start off with this one, but no, I'm not gonna play all this. And you see the title of it, if you can see it. But anyway, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripture, my best ability, say whatever God say through spirit, power, Yahweh Bashim Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kurhak Kodash, Lord, wanna be on me. Let's get it.
We are in control of everything. God's chosen people, Am Israel, Chai.
Uh-oh, dollar just dropped. Where?
Yeah, I should put it on normal speed, but it's gonna take too long. But I'll put it on normal speed.
I'm gonna put this back in my pocket.
Give it.
Yeah, very typical, you know, when you drop $1.
Those hands.
It's our favorite thing, you know? Coin clipping, read about it. We used to make our own money.
Let me see that. What is coin clipping? It's an illegal historical practice of shaving. Oh, shaving or cutting small silver of precious metal like gold and silver. Pretty much like what they did in Rome. The value of the dollar. They'll shave off some of the metal off. Yeah, Amalek. You know, Amalek had to be responsible for that shit. Oh yeah, shaving the melt into the bullion, whatever you call it, and passing the clipped coin at its full face value. Yeah.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. May Hashem bless you. Tikabel mehakabbalah. Welcome to Rabbi Chosi Iyov Show. It's so good to be here with you on Shabbat. Today we are going to talk more about the anti-Semite Tommy G. This is part 3, Shalosh. So you need to watch part 1 and part 2. And then you can watch this part, which is 3, Shalosh. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure you hit the like so we can boost the algorithm so more goyim can learn about the Talmud. And also make sure you go to our website and buy us some diamonds because we need money so we can bring the Mashiach. Mashiach. Ay, 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 ay. Mashiach. Ay, 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 ay. So we are going to go straight to the video. Make sure you grab your kosher popcorn.
Did you see Tyler Oliveira's video highlighting welfare
I did,
in the Orthodox community?
I saw parts of it, yeah. Jews are not special in the fact that, like, if you're...
No, we are special. This is one of our people lying to you because according to the Talmud, we can lie to the Goyim. We are special. We are God's chosen people. Never forget that.
If you're okay with calling out fraud, like in Minnesota, then you should be okay with calling out fraud if you see it in the Jewish community. But
No. There is no fraud from the Jewish community because if you think we are doing some things that are fraud, you're an anti-Semite. That's the only reason you would think that we are doing something fishy even when we do it. You're just an anti-Semite.
You know what was fishy too? Yeah, I remember I reported the news, but I didn't really think nothing about it. About they found some two-legged rats coming out of the sewer in New York, somewhere in New York. Let me see what I'm gonna find. Men coming out of New York City.
So first, welcome to my home. So this is...
What the fuck? I paused that motherfucker. Well, I paused that video. Mystery men seen entering and emerging manhole. Yeah, there they go. I ain't even say it all the way. I threw in some cuss words into that shit. I'm gonna play this shit. I'll just play this one. And this was 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know about what was her name. What's that chick name? Kim Iverson was talking about it.
Days, we're seeing some video of a group of people climbing down.
Look at these niggas.
Down into the sewer system in New York City. This is new video of another manhole break-in. This is in Astoria, Queens. Now, last Friday, we told you about 2 other similar scenes in Brooklyn. Law enforcement sources say it doesn't appear to be nefarious, but still no clear answer on what's happening underground.
Maybe putting some damn explosives on the ground. It was what was it? I forgot brother channel name. I think it's Stay Awake 144. Yeah, he was talking about this. It was a video playing this morning, and he was talking about 3 mysterious men crawling in the sewers.
News 4's Chris Jose has the new video and reaction from Astoria tonight.
3 random guys walking around in a strange suit. Open the sewer, go in like the Ninja Turtles.
They climbed down like the Ninja Turtles, but the trio caught on video better resembles the Mario Brothers. The group wearing hip waders, carrying flashlights.
I was looking at them, they were looking at me. You know, I could tell they're up to no good.
Aki Jakopovic watching the group pry open the manhole cover on May 5th, just before 2 a.m. in Astoria.
They went in there, closed the cover, like, they were never here. Those 2 strange cars just randomly pulled up waiting for them, and one of my guys called 911.
News 4 first reported on the mystery unfolding in the New York City sewer system last Friday. 8 people, according to the NYPD, going through a manhole around 1 a.m. in Williamsburg. A second incident reported to police an hour later in Gravesend.
You're like, I saw this happen in front of my shop.
That's when we actually released the video. We saw, it was going on in multiple areas.
A senior law enforcement official says it's possible the group is scavenging for valuables.
In a fucking sewer.
A theory based on similar incidents in the last 2 years.
Why is it a crime to go into a manhole?
It's dangerous. It's the same as Jay.
Well, come on, man. And this short-haired, bull-looking bitch, why is it a crime to go into my manhole? It ought to be one. It is a crime, but it's suspicious as hell. Plus, you got gas lines on the ground. These motherfuckers go hook a bum to it and pull it off of, 9/11. Yeah, 9/11. Yeah, I said it, 9/11 event.
Walking down the middle of a highway.
Man, that dog farting, man. Ugh.
So if they choose the wrong one, they could...
Anyway. Goddamn rats.
Expedience Gym Monster 2 behind me.
So let's make that clear. Okay. I hope you're paying attention, you stupid goyim.
But energy means a lot. Vibe means a lot. And I'm sitting down with you because I like your energy. I've met your team. You guys have good energy. It's good faith energy. Go watch that video. Tyler's coming in with, you would have thought the rabbi just tried to suck his penis. He came in with some real anger and, it was palpable. And yeah, maybe there was...
I don't know what the hell. I ain't going to play no more of this. I don't want to take too much of this. I got to watch this on my own time and get some good laughs. But I ain't going to play all this. But if you want to watch the rest of it, they go to title or they go to channel. Let me get to this one. See what's going on with this one.
A new Hezbollah FPV drone clip is circulating online, showing an IDF soldier breaking into what many are calling the world's most embarrassing run as he bolts for cover under fire. The same soldier's epic trip and fall in a doorway has gone viral, quickly being seized on by Hezbollah supporters as one of the group's biggest propaganda wins of the war so far. The viral moment comes as Hezbollah claims to have scored a direct hit on an IDF military zone, feeding into a narrative of mounting pressure on Israeli forces along the frontier. Air raid sirens have been shaking communities across the Western Galilee, fueling speculation that the drone incident could be a prelude to an even bigger Hezbollah strike. With frontline footage escalating and attacks creeping closer to Israeli towns, many now wonder if Hezbollah is warming up its most deadly weapons.
And it's so funny. Where's the protection for these people? What are they doing holding firearms and they can, crack, you seen what happened in, the guy tried to attempt to go through that doorway and he failed. Yeah, but what is he doing with that sword? That's because you call that a modern day sword, but they supposed to be dwelling in safety. All weapons of warfare are supposed to be destroyed. There'll be no wars anymore. Nations will not learn won't be lifting sword against nation. What the fuck is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. These people are not who they claim to be. They're not the Hebrew Israelites. They are Hebrew, but they're not the Israelites. They're not the Lord's chosen people. No, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you got speckled birds, Israelites that look like the heathens. They're going to be Israelites, but I ain't saying all heathens are. Nope. But you're going to have Israelites that going to look like the heathens. But these people claiming to be the people with the small hats are going in the sewers and shit. Always find them niggas in tunnels all the time in sewers. Even the girls. Yeah, even the girls want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun in the sewer like the fellas do. And I was just thinking, that one video, yeah, there was a Kim Iverson talking about 71 Jewish Orthodox girls found in a sewer. I thought it was a rescue mission, like they was going to rescue them out of let me check that shit up. 71 Jewish girls in tunnel. Oh shit, I'm spelling tunnel right? Yeah, tunnel. Yeah, it is right here. I don't have to play that. I'll just play this short one.
What's happening? Some young girls, some kids, they
Yeah, they say they found them in there. I believe they were doing some witchcraft shit or some sex crap. Yeah, because these motherfuckers are sick as hell. They probably had, and the girls were coming out. They didn't look like they was in danger and harm or they were kidnapped or anything like that. They didn't look like, or either they didn't look like they were. You know how you lost, you finally found it, you're happy, and well, I'm gonna say happy, more like you sad. I don't know, but them bitches were smiling, like they had a good time or something. And them bitches was now probably in the sewer doing some nasty shit, probably having an orgy. And yeah, I mean, that's what I think these weird old niggas be doing.
in the park. They were in the park. They got into the culvert of the creek, and they started exploring. And then they ended up not really knowing where they were, and they got a little alarmed.
So some girls were wandering around the park and ended up
a whole bunch of 71 girls
lost and found themselves to be in a tunnel underground connected to the sewage system. It was a group of 71 Orthodox Jewish girls that just happened to be wandering around and found themselves in a tunnel underground. All 71 of them were just lost. Oh, how do we get down here? Wow. Wow, what's this? Yeah, alright, bro.
What's happening?
Yeah, they were doing some freaky shit down there or something. Or either they're setting up bombs down in the tunnels too. Hell yeah. Everybody contribute, male and female, old and young. They probably putting bombs in underneath the tunnel sewer systems. I don't know, bro. I don't know, but these niggas are strange as hell. Amalek is a strange one, way stranger than his other half, the regular ass pot belly so-called white person, regular Edomite. Shit, them niggas are strange. But oh yeah, like I was saying, back to what I was talking about this shit. What the fuck are these niggas doing here? Getting bombed on, shot at. Oh man, they getting attacked by the Humilated. They ain't supposed to happen. Deuteronomy chapter 33 says so. This won't never be happening for the people, the holy people of the Lord. Deuteronomy chapter 33 verse 28. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. Only Israel, nobody else. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall rain down dew. But it's not happening to these people. Why is that? Because they're not the people. Jeremiah chapter 23 verse 6. And in his day Judah shall be saved and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name whereby he shall be called. And the Lord Yahweh, which they don't call him the Yahweh or Yahweh Shah, they call him Bashem, the name. That's not his name. The name is not his name. No, he has an actual name, but his name ain't the name. Anyway, of the Lord Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shah, our righteousness. But anyway,
for larger confrontation. As clashes intensify along the Lebanon front,
and I forgot to read this too. Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations. This talking about Yahweh Shah, who the word they call Jeba. When Yahweh Shah, he's going to be checking these nations. Oh, I forgot to bring this over. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall got gas. And they shall beat their swords into spears and their pruning hooks and beat their spears. No, they shall turn their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Sorry, I'm moving a little too fast. But you got motherfuckers running into doorways with guns, with swords, running for their life from another sword, a flying sword, a drone that's got explosives. That ain't supposed to happen. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, but they're doing that. Neither shall they learn war anymore, but they're doing it. Hey, they calling out some ceasefire, but then all of a sudden, so-called Israel goes and attacks somebody else with a sword. They ain't supposed to happen because all of these weapons of warfare are supposed to be destroyed, but not these today. No, the reason why, because these people that claim to be the Lord's people are not the Lord's people. Back to the video.
Newly surfaced video has put IDF troops under scrutiny.
And if you still want to believe that these people are the Lord people, man, you absolutely stupid as fuck. And it's easy for me to say that, but you really are fucking stupid as hell.
Bring a stark glimpse into how vulnerable soldiers on the ground can be to incoming drone threats. The footage circulating online appears to show an IDF soldier sprinting away from what is described as an incoming Hezbollah FPV drone, desperately trying to escape.
This nigga here clothesline his own damn self.
Its path. In the
did he get killed by the drone? Did the drone catch his ass?
Clip, the soldier can be seen rushing toward a doorway of a building, using the entrance as his only immediate option for hard cover during the apparent incident. As he reaches the threshold, the soldier appears to stumble and crash to the ground.
Nigga ain't stumbled. That nigga failed, bro. Not failed. He his own weapons clothesline his ass. Shit.
Turning a frantic dash for safety into a clumsy fall. The video emerged just as clashes between Israel and Hezbollah intensified once again, slotting neatly into an information war where every frame is weaponized for narrative impact.
I guess they ain't trained him well to know how to run into a damn doorway with his firearm. Shit, they ain't trained him well on that. Oh, that's the ad. I don't know, should I keep playing this? Yeah, I'm out playing.
As Iran and Donald Trump edge toward a draft deal.
Alright, that's it. I ain't gonna play no more. Let's get to the next one. Oh, clumsy ass rat.
A Jewish anti-Zionist activist disrupted an Israeli real estate event at a synagogue in West London.
Hey, that song. Ain't he a small hat? Probably not. He might be a small hat. He might be a small hat too that's against his own people doing what they do. Hey man, the house of Satan divided.
While outside, police dispersed protesters and arrested several people. The demonstration moved a few minutes down the road, blocking traffic.
And you know what's so funny? It's funny that they talking all this shit about immigrants giving... No, what they're saying over in Europe, that that property that's owned by certain citizens, locals, or their property is being taken away and given to house migrants. But look what these people are doing. Anyway.
Legally selling off land that does not belong to us. It does not belong to us. No, I love myself. I am a Jew. I don't hate myself.
They were surrounded by a large crowd of counter-protesters. Some of the areas for sale are believed to include land in occupied East Jerusalem and Gush Etzion in the occupied West Bank, which is made up of dozens of illegal Israeli settlements. Under international law, these areas are considered Palestinian territory. On their website, the organisers of the event mainly list locations within Israel.
It really ain't none of them niggas land. From them tower heads of these baby these suckers, it ain't they land.
It's not just protesters here calling for the event to be cancelled. More than 100 British members of Parliament have signed a letter calling on the government to ban events such as these, saying they are not in line with international law.
The organiser of the letter, MP Andy MacDonald, says the government has a double standard.
We've got to make sure that this is rendered illegal, such an event is banned, but more importantly, that British companies understand that their engagement in such activities in the West Bank or events such as this is also a crime and that they risk prosecution. Could we imagine for 1 minute if there was a Russian-sponsored event that was marketing land in Ukraine? I'm sure the government would be very quick to intervene and bring it to an end.
A recent report by Amnesty International found the speed and scale of annexation in the occupied West Bank has escalated significantly under the current Israeli government, and that illegal settlements are state-led and state-sponsored. Camille Nedelec, Al Jazeera, London.
Right, so Israeli arms firms have turned up in France to flog their genocidal wares and had a bit of a rude shock when they got there. The supposedly respectable end of their warmongering hit one of those arms fair events, Eurosatori 2026, as is the case here, and what they bring to prevent us defence solutions, of course, being the very same things they've been using to vaporise neighbourhoods from Gaza to southern Lebanon. But when they got to this latest arms bazaar catwalk of theirs, they didn't exactly get the Victoria's Secret treatment. But they expected the usual routine of stands and buyers and handshakes and brochures amidst all of the military hardware parked under the exhibition lights. They found instead walls and partitions and curtains cordoning off all of their displays. It was like somebody had shoved Israel's arms industry into the naughty corner and told it to think very carefully about what it had done. At a weapons fair, the stand is the sales pitch. The whole point is to be seen. You don't spend all that money dragging your lovely battlefield-tested death catalogue to France, so the best image of your company is a curtain, is it? But that's exactly what they got. Oh, bless them. Israel came looking for weapons buyers, and France stuffed all their wares behind barriers. Other companies got their shiny displays and their vehicles and their model systems, their polished launchers, their tasteful little brochures about security architecture, because nothing quite says civilization like putting a missile system next to a coffee machine, does it? Because Israel gets walls and gets curtains, gets cordoned off, and something like, a showroom version of 70% of the Gaza Strip right now. Oh, the irony. Israel gets officials and ministers having to explain why the sales floor now looks like somebody tried to hide the embarrassing uncle at a wedding, while others do the standard whinging and whining because...
I still remember the moment when the accident happened. I'm Michwa Kim, founder of Biodance. I had around 60 stitches and burns on my face. I've spent a long time figuring out what true skin balance feels like. The pure essence transforms into the mask itself, creating a unique skincare experience. The longer it stays, the more your skin finds its balance, feeling light and comfortable. It's not about selling more, it's about sharing life-changing transformation. Beyond trends, we're creating something that lasts.
What the fuck? Dang, I forgot it. I didn't know it was an A.
Of course they do.
Here in Villepinte, north of Paris, the curtain has risen on the Eurosatori Arms and Security trade show. But at this year's edition, many booths are veiled and hidden behind boards. A dozen Israeli company stands have been shut down due to non-compliance with participation conditions, according to organizers. For protesters outside the venue, they should have been excluded entirely for their part in the ongoing aggression in the Middle East.
The French government ought to have banned them, as it has obligations under international law. Not only is the government failing to fulfill its responsibilities, but it's also authorizing companies that may well be engaged in criminal activity.
Now, appreciate the size of this event from that footage you just saw. This is a major event. It's more than 2,600 exhibitors from more than 68 countries. You can see the scale of the hardware on show amongst all the flags and the company branding, all doing what these rancid events do, make violence look perfectly respectable, like it is just business, when the reality is arms fairs as complete circuses. And yet even this big top saw Israel and thought, nah, not after what you've been doing. And then you see the Israeli company signage and nothing else. Smart Shooter, Orbit Communications, all cordoned off. Valuable real estate in the form of stand space left blank because to display your gear is just too toxic for everybody else. You'd think they'd have just told Israel not to turn up, really, wouldn't you? But actually, doing this is arguably even more humiliating for Israel, because they're visibly there, but visibly hidden at the same time. Certainly the point of why these displays were there, why Israel was still allowed to be present, was a question very much being asked outside, those protesters from BDS France, having spoken to France 24 in that footage from a moment ago. But they were also doing a lot more than just talking. Now, protest at these things, I dare say, is expected. The French police certainly appeared far more nonchalant in that footage than those, for example, defending illegal settlement property being up for sale here in the UK the other day. People will, obviously, object to Israeli arms firms during the slaughter in Gaza, during the attacks on Lebanon, objecting to the absurd claims that defence exports have nothing to do with what is going on in the Middle East at Israeli hands, when we know so many of these products get marketed as battle-tested by testing them on the likes of Palestinians. No matter how much some Israeli salesmen here might plead that these things have nothing to do with their various war fronts, that a fib so big even your average Zionist might actually wince at it. But the fact is the politics followed Israel onto the sales floor. Gaza followed them into the showroom. Lebanon followed them to the brochure stand. And Israel soon discovered as a result of that France had started putting up curtains in front of all their wares. Now, France had already restricted Israel's participation even before this. No official Israeli national pavilion, one of the really big stands. No Israeli government delegation allowed. Israeli companies limited to air and missile defense-related displays. Offensive systems completely restricted. Rockets, remotely operated munitions, surface...
All right, anyway, and it goes back to that scripture about Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4. Well, yeah, when they come about nations shall not lift up sword against nation, what the hell they doing with... They selling arms and weapons and shit. You know, weapons fair leaves Israel humiliated. But they're selling... Yeah, this... Anyway, let's move on to the next video. Yeah, anyway.
There's something very, very comforting about the idea that no matter who you are or what background you come from.
Jay about to take a razor to his damn face, shave all his... Anyway.
So Trump announces on Friday, we got a deal coming. Saturday, Israel goes and starts bombing Lebanon, Beirut. So the peace deal is supposed to be finalized formally on Friday in Switzerland. And this is what's going... there are two things that's going to screw it up. Here's the first thing. Because Benjamin Netanyahu does not want one. He doesn't. As soon as Benjamin Netanyahu, if there's a peace deal in the Middle East, Benjamin Netanyahu goes to prison immediately. All right. So, and everybody knows this, including Trump. And so that's why Trump has been trying to pressure the president of Israel to give Netanyahu a pardon. You wonder why he's been doing that? Because if he gets a pardon, then maybe Netanyahu will stop screwing up every peace deal. But it doesn't. But he's not giving him a pardon because they want to put him in prison. So here's Netanyahu. We attacked the I don't know how you even pronounce this. Daya and Beirut targets of the terror organization Hezbollah. So they're pretending they're going after Hezbollah. Israel will not tolerate fire into its territory. So that's what they're doing. So they're blowing the hell out of people's neighborhoods. Trump says Israel's strike on Beirut should not have happened. So Trump announces on Friday, hey, we got a deal coming. Saturday, Israel goes and starts bombing Lebanon, Beirut. President Trump said on Sunday that an Israeli attack on the southern suburb of Lebanon's capital, Beirut, should not have happened, a strike that came hours before Pakistan announced an agreement to end the war between U.S. and Iran. So Netanyahu knows they're going to have a peace deal, so Netanyahu tries to wreck it, and he bombs Beirut. Israel's strike on Daya came 1 week after Iran bombed northern Israel in response to Israel's previous attack on the suburb, and Iranian officials said there will be another response to Sunday's strike, but have backed off following the agreement with the U.S. Israel's officials said that the latest attack on Daya was a response to Hezbollah's drones targeting northern Israel, which Trump downplayed. Here's what Trump said. This morning's attack on Beirut should not have happened, particularly on a special day when we are so close to a peace deal with Iran. Yeah, but there's nothing you're going to do about it. There's nothing Trump has all the cards with Israel. He won't play them. Why? Because somehow he's controlled by them. Was it because he knew they were the ones who were going to kill him in Butler, Pennsylvania? Was it that? Was it because that they've made him, they're like, hey, you can do all the corruption you want and make billions more dollars? Your Barron could be worth $200 million if you want. Everybody in your family, we're going to fund, don't worry about it. We're going to make you all rich, just shut up and do what we say, or we'll kill you like we did Charlie Kirk. I think that was the deal. So they've got him. So either it's the Epstein files that he's in that they got him, or it's this, what I just described. It doesn't matter what it is. The thing is they have him. And so Trump can't do anything to stop Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel has the right to defend itself against threats, but the attack it was responding to was very small and meaningless. Nobody was hurt, injured, or killed, and should not disrupt the important process. We are very close to a deal that will bring peace to the region, including to Lebanon, and all sides should stand down. There should be no more attacks by Israel anywhere in Lebanon. But there should also be no more attacks by any other party, including Hezbollah.
There shouldn't be no wars at all. All weapons of warfare should be destroyed. If the people, these people that claim to be Israel, yeah, they're in the Holy Land. All the weapons should be gone, and plus the Lord should be here. King David, the streets of the streets of Jerusalem should be paved in gold. Instead, it's paved in blood and piss stains and boo boo. Then you got some rat droppings on the streets of Jerusalem. Anyway,
against Israel, this could be the beginning of a long and beautiful peace. Let's not blow it. Thank you for your. But the only way this is going to happen is if Donald Trump exerts power over Benjamin Netanyahu by saying, "Hey, we're not going to give you any more missiles. We're not going to give you any more defense money. We're not going to have your back anywhere." That's the only thing that will work. He's not going to do it because somehow he's owned and controlled by Israel. Trump has claimed several times now that some sort of ceasefire was reached with Lebanon, but the IDF has continued its occupation and destruction campaign in southern Lebanon, which has included heavy airstrikes. Mohammed Bagher Ghalibaf, the Speaker of Iran's Ghalibaf, as the Speaker of the Iran's parliament, said on Sunday that the latest Israeli strike on Daya shows that U.S. lacks either the will or the ability to reign in Israel. That's 100%. Here it is. The Zionist incursion into Daya has once again shown that America either lacks the will to fulfill its commitments or the ability to do so. By giving the green light to the regime, you cannot gain concessions. The game of bad cop, good cop is outdated. If you lack the will and ability to fulfill your commitment, speaking of continuing the path is not possible. So they're saying, hey, if you keep doing it to Lebanon, the peace deal's off. Trump later told Fox News that he would ask Iran not to respond to the Israeli attack on Beirut and claimed that he asked Netanyahu, what the F are you doing? Well, we all know what he's doing, and so does Donald Trump. He's trying to screw up the peace process, and Lebanon is part of the greater Israel project. And as long as Israel stays at war with somebody, he can't go to prison. But according to U.S. and Israel officials speaking to Axios, Israel notified U.S. CENTCOM before the strike on Daya, and there's no sign he's willing to impose any real consequences on Israel for the strike, such as cutting off military aid or support for the war. So that's it. And Netanyahu knows that he's got Trump's balls in a vice. Lebanese officials said that at least 3 people were killed by the strike in Daya, while Israeli officials claim a senior Hezbollah commander was killed, which so far hasn't confirmed. I'm pretty sure that has been confirmed now. Netanyahu posted a video of the strike showing a building being hit as cars were driving.
All right, anyway, let's get to the next one.
I didn't believe these trades either. 80%, 100%, sometimes in under a day or two.
The sentencing of 4 young Palestine Action volunteers to a combined total of 26 years and 4 months in prison is a national disgrace that brings shame on both the British state and the judiciary, compounded by the decision 3 days later to uphold the prescription of Palestine Action. The Filton 4 were convicted for criminal damage and, in one case, for grievous bodily harm without intent during a raid on a factory at Filton near Bristol belonging to Elbit, Israel's largest arms manufacturer. But they were sentenced as terrorists. The jury was not informed that this would happen. Judge Jeremy Johnson also ruled that the defendants could not tell the jury why they had carried out the action, and he barred barristers from reminding the jury of their ancient right to reach a decision based on their own conscience. While the trial was ongoing, the media was not allowed to report these restrictions. Had the judge not added the terrorist connection, the defendants would have been entitled to parole and would have been released, having already spent 18 months in prison. The terrorist connection means the sentences are considerably longer than they would otherwise have been, and there will be no possibility of parole until 2/3 of the way through the sentence, compared to 40% of the sentence for non-terrorist crimes. If, as is likely, the Filton 4 continue to maintain they were right to sabotage the Elbit factory, it's highly probable they will have to serve their time in full. As convicted terrorists for decades after their release, they will be subject to extremely intrusive restrictions. For example, the authorities will have the right to stop and physically search them and their property at any time. Whatever your view of Palestine Action, the treatment of these 4 young people clearly defies all natural justice. For the last 3 years, the Israeli army has been engaged in what is widely recognized as a genocide in Gaza. They've maimed, mutilated, and murdered many tens.
They've also been identified, but not so widely, but as Amalek. You know, the goddamn mainstream media ain't gonna talk about that shit because they controlled by the niggas. Anyway, and they even these niggas.
Of thousands of children. That Israel's largest arms manufacturer continues to operate freely in Great Britain is an indelible stain on our national reputation and should haunt Keir Starmer and his 2 Home Secretaries, Yvette Cooper and Shabana Mahmood, to the end of their days. Instead, it is 4 young people who sought to sabotage the machinery of death who must languish in prison for years as terrorists. It's been clear from the first that the treatment of the 25 people arrested for the Filton raid was intended to create a justification for the banning of Palestine Action as a terrorist organisation. To that end, the judicial process has been manipulated and distorted at every turn. The decision to uphold the prescription of Palestine Action suggests it has served its purpose. In theory, the judiciary in the UK is entirely independent of the government, but the process of judicial appointments is notoriously lacking in transparency, and certainly in Jeremy Johnson, the government could scarcely have hoped for a more compliant judge.
Would you each stand up, please?
The use of terror legislation enables the government to bypass fundamental civil liberties that date back to Magna Carta. In introducing the current Terrorism Act in 1999, the then Home Secretary Jack Straw assured Parliament that it would be applied only to those guilty of serious, premeditated violence that aimed to create a climate of extreme fear. The actions of the Filton Four clearly do not fit this description. Straw went on, we will have handed the terrorists the victory that they seek if, in combating their threats and violence, we descend to their level and undermine the essential freedoms and rule of law that are the bedrock of our democracy. That is precisely what has now happened. The Filton Four will appeal their sentences. It'll give the British judiciary, if not the British government, a chance to redeem itself. The sentences last Friday were listened to in stunned silence in the courtroom. As the defendants were led down to the cells, 30-year-old Leona Cameo, sentenced to 6 years, turned and said quietly, "To hear the birds sing, the drones must be silenced." The public gallery erupted in cheers and applause. A furious Judge Johnson ordered it to be cleared. Here at Double Down Newswatch, we depend on you. We have no...
Without the United States, there would be no Israel.
It's coming from Stay in the Truth, Spirit 144. They go the title of it. Subscribe if you want to. Be best you do. It be best that you do.
Without me, there would be no Israel. I'll tell you what, Israel's fighting Hezbollah too long, and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody. Because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah.
It sounds like he cares. Also, it sounds like he's caring. Anyway.
Well, that I can tell you.
But it's just strange. When I first heard this video, I was like, wait a minute. I don't know how old this video is, but I was like, yo, this shit sounds strange. I don't know.
And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it. Without us, without the United States, there would be no Israel. Without me, there would be no Israel, because no other president was willing to do what I did. I've had a great relationship with Bibi, but now Bibi has to be more responsible with respect to Lebanon. Lebanon used to be a great country. It was a country where you had professors, doctors, lawyers.
That same country that, yeah, that was, what is it, Gaddafi? Was that him? Yeah, that was his country. And yeah, they, you know, they killed his ass. Claimed he's a terrorist, and he was doing pretty good over there in that country. They claimed he was a terrorist, and they came in there and full assault.
The great intellect was in Lebanon. Now it's terrible. I would say of all countries, they've been treated the worst. And they can't defend themselves. And they have Hezbollah, which is a problem for them. So, no, I'm not happy with the way Israel has handled themselves with Lebanon and with Hezbollah. They should have been able to do the job faster. It just goes on forever. And when that happens,
And you talking about Hezbollah and Hamas and all these, y'all niggas the ones that's funded them and created them. So it's really ultimately America and Israel is the ones that's worse. The ones who's the dangerous ones.
Throws a negative light on the big deal, and that's the deal with Iran.
It is also
they created ISIS,
my job to
and the Taliban.
Represent the importance of Israel to the United States. This is just another reminder that it is your heritage, without a doubt. But Minister, it is also the heritage of the United States. Without Israel, without the Jewish Foundation, there would not be an America.
Anyway.
We owe our very existence to what happened in this land.
Americans know that Israel and the United States share common values, that we defend common interests, that we face common enemies. Iran's leaders know that too. You know, for them, you're the great Satan.
When not or net or Yuhu called America this word, nobody said a word. Yeah, the great Satan. America's the great Satan, and they supposed to be the little Satan.
Iran's leaders know that too. You know, for them, you're the great Satan, we're the little Satan. You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan. For them, we are you, and you are us. And you know something, Mr. President? At least on this last point, I think they're right. We are you, and you are us.
Without Israel, without the Jewish Foundation, there would not be an America.
Without us, without the United States, there would be no Israel.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect. And, you know, as you just saw, those few clips. The first two were more recent. I believe those came out today, right? Both Donald Trump and his ambassador to the Israelis, Mike Huckabee, they both made those statements today regarding without America there would be no Israel, and without the 48ers there would be no America. And then that last one, I'm not too sure exactly when it is, but it looks like it was a older video. But this is something that Netanyahu have said multiple times regarding what the Iranians and their allies call or refer America and the 48ers as, right? Little Satan and Great Satan. And as I was watching this, as the scripture says, right, that there's nothing done in the secret that shall not be brought to light. All right, and as we are seeing how the Lord is unveiling, right, the wicked, right, as the scripture says that he was going to lift up his skirt, right, which is metaphoric for basically exposing him. Now they're basically speaking directly about their relationship, which they always have, right, but saying how they're these two countries, which the 48ers is really like a vassal state, right? Although the elites control America, they don't actually live in the 48er, the land of the 48ers, right? And we know that the elites are the central banking family, which are of the stock of Esau, of the tribe of Amalek, but they don't actually live there, right? They don't reside in that land. However, we do know that the government is, basically, speaking of the American government, is basically controlled by the Amalekites. Okay, so here you have Trump boasting, right, and saying how that without America there would be no 48er land, which is true, right? That is true, because America is the muscle, right? America has the power, it has the wealth, the wealth, right, the resources to defend and manipulate and coerce these other countries to basically, which is really them doing the bidding of the 48ers. So that statement by Trump is true, but guess what? The statement by Amalek, Mike Huckabee, about without the 48ers there would be no America, is also true. And that goes to show you how they are one and the same, which, when I seen that originally, I asked the facetious question, saying, what part of prophecy is that? All right, because these people, right, speaking about those, those Ish people, claim that they are the people of the Bible, right, and that, they have a divine and God-given right to that land because of, what was given, promised unto them by the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Although they're not, the seed of Jacob, they're the seed of Esau. They're Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. But if they are claiming to be the people of the book, then they should be fulfilling prophecy of the book, right?
But they're not. Even prophecies that's already passed, they don't fall in under those prophecies, like leaving from Egypt. Yeah, going to leaving into Egypt and going back to Egypt, but on ships. Egypt meaning not a place, but also it means bondage, because the Israelites were in bondage in ancient Egypt, and now they're going back to Egypt, bondage again, but on ships. And what people of ended up on ships being hauled off, first packed in like sardines from the bottom to the top to the top to the bottom, shoved in and crammed in, pissed and shit on a long voyage to a land they don't know of. Not just not just for you so-called black folks. They talking about, hey, they ain't mentioned about the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Latinos they call today ignorantly, but they don't. But hey, some of the Aztecs and Mayans or whatever, pretty much, them folks, that's their Northern Kingdom. You so-called Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You Native Indians, you Seminole Indians, yeah, they threw your ass in the damn ships, packed you in like sardines, and hauled your asses to different parts around the world. They're referring to that too. We all went through that same shit. But hell, you had some heathens. I say this: you had some heathens, like some Indian folks, some Chinese people, some other heathen nations that was shipped off and became slaves. But shit, they wasn't worked. They weren't worked like we were worked. Well, they worked the shit out of us. Shit, they abused the shit out of us. They raped the shit out of us. Y'all didn't go through the horrors and tortures that we went through, nigga. Nobody knows the sorrows we've been. I don't know how the lyrics go, but nobody, you know, as Jake was singing that, made that song. Nobody knows. Yeah, that song right. Nobody don't know. They know. They don't want to go through that shit, but they want to act proud like, oh, we went through slavery too. Yeah, but it wasn't nothing compared to us. And what all we went through, so-called black Latinos, Hispanics, Native Indians. Anyway. And then these same niggas right here responsible for that shit. Like I said, the slave auctions. The slave auctions, well, why would the slave auctions close on Jewish holidays in America? Yeah.
It fit what the scriptures
You can look that shit up.
Say about the Israelites, you know, in the book in the time of the end, because the scriptures makes it very clear the state that the true biblical Hebrew Israelites would be in, right, in the end times, right, and who would be their adversaries and why they would need deliverance, right, why they would need the Most High to send His only begotten Son Yahushua to deliver them out of the hand of their enemy. But yet, here it is, they're saying that they are basically the reason, right, that the greatest power, right, the greatest what do you call it, the greatest nation, superpower on the earth right now, which is America, right? I'm talking militarily wise and economically. They're saying that they did that, right? That it's because of them America is in the position that they're in. But yet the scriptures says that Israel will be, you know, under curses. Okay, Deuteronomy 20th chapter speaks about how they should be the borrower and not the lender.
And they own banks. They give out loans. They add interest. Was that usury? Yeah, they print the fucking money. They own all that shit. Anything that comes to finances, they control all that shit. These people, the banking family, who are that? The Rothschilds. They claim to be small hat people. Yeah. Anyway.
But here it is, these people, they have all of the resources, right? They have the power to, you know, influence the world. That's not prophecy. That's not.
Yeah, the real biblical Hebrew Israelites gonna be living in the conditions of not having nothing and being nothing in this world. Hell, and they gotta suffer, go through some shit, and some bad stuff. Not living on top, owning movies, TV show producers, you know, all that bullshit. Owning the Hollywood, owning porn industries, owning sports, owning teams in sports, you know, controlling the military, the police, controlling the tech industry, controlling goddamn everything. Going to war with other nations, which they aren't supposed to be going to war with other nations with weapons of mass destruction. No.
Scripture says
going to fucking sewers like Ninja Turtles. Yeah, they going in the sewers looking like Ninja Turtles and shit. And oh yeah, and 71 Jewish girls found in a tunnel. Ain't no telling what the fuck them niggas were doing. Probably some lesbo shit, fucking nasty freaks, in a tunnel, a sewer, shit.
The Israelites would, you know, the condition that Israel would be in these times. So the more they talk, the more they are exposing, right, themselves, and the
more they exposing themselves of who they truly are, and it didn't think just other shit that coming out in the news. Just like I said, the 71 girls come out of a tunnel. People are like scratching their head, like, why is there 71 girls? How did they get lost and end up in a tunnel, an underground tunnel? How long they were down there? Man, get the fuck out of here.
Scripture says here, which we'll start off with that, in the book of Job, chapter 15, verse 6, it says, "Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yeah, thine own lips testify against thee." See? So how the Lord is having this all play out, and what is now happening, right? Which, I was and I still am, skeptical of, this perceived rift and tension and, a division that is happening between Bibi and Trump. But at the same time, we got to remember that this is prophecy, right? The scriptures tells us, which I'm just going to get into as well, that you are going to have a division amongst the house of the wicked, right? You are going to have, Satan's house being divided. So we may, and I'm becoming more and more, moving toward this thought process that we may be actually watching the vision of Babylon the Great and Amalek, okay, which, as Netanyahu said, great Satan and little Satan. So if they're both Satan, right, that would legit fulfill what Yahushua spoke about, which we will get as well. But the fact that you had Netanyahu just said, which was the last clip I played, that said that they both are the same, that you are us and we are you. That right there goes to show you that they are not the children of Israel. They are not the biblical Hebrew Israelites, because there's overwhelming amount of proof that America is Babylon the Great. Okay, and if America is Babylon the Great, then Babylon the Great is referred to time and time again as an adversary unto the Israelites. Matter of fact,
not an ally. Definitely not an ally. He's right. If Babylon the Great is considered to be an adversary against the Israelites, especially being here in captivity for so long, being used and abused by Esau, Edom, Amalek, then who the fuck are these people that claim to be Israel being allies to Babylon? That ain't supposed to be. No.
The reason why the Lord is going to destroy Babylon the Great, right, which we get here in Revelation.
Yeah, America's supposed to be, or Babylon supposed to be an enemy to Israel, not an ally.
18, verse, I think it's 20. Yep. It says, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her." See? It says, rejoice over her fate, and this is a prophecy against Babylon, right? The whole chapter of Revelation 18 is talking about the downfall and the destruction of Babylon. So the scriptures here is telling us to what? To rejoice over her fate. What is the fate of Babylon the Great?
Destruction.
It's destruction. It's a complete and total, as Trump would like to say, obliteration. It says, "O heaven and ye and people of God, and the apostles and prophets." Okay, who are the people of God? The Israelites. Who are the apostles? They were Israelites. Who are the prophets? They were Israelites. So the Israelites were to rejoice over the fate that the Lord was going to bring upon Babylon. For at last God has judged her for your sakes. See? So the Lord is going to judge, right? Judge Babylon the Great for our sake. And what is that judgment? That judgment is going to be destruction. Right here also in the book of I think it's Revelation 19. Yep. Revelation 19 verse start at 2 is the point. It says, "For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand." Read that in the NLC. It says, "His judgments are true and just. He has punished the great prostitute." Who is the great whore? Who is the mother of harlots?
Babylon the Great.
Right? Revelation 17th chapter.
America.
The woman arrayed in scarlet and gold, right? That sitteth upon the beast. That woman is representative of who? America. The beast is the
NATO EU.
Conglomerate Western countries known as NATO. All right. So this great whore, which, as the scripture says, made the earth drunk with the wine of her fornication, by way of conquest, by way of economic pressure, right? By way of making these countries get in league and get in bed with her in order to live deliciously with them. But the question is, who was spearheading these things? Once again, America is the government, is the power horse, but the Amalekites, right, which are the 48ers, they are the ones that actually control the government. as they like to call it, the deep state, right? The Epstein class. And you see it all over the institutions of America. Who is the CEOs, right? Who is the producers? Who are the owners, right? Who are the Silicon Valley technocrats, right? Who are the bankers? So the actual vibration that is pushed out of America comes from the mastermind of the Amalekites. And that in itself is proof that, as Netanyahu said, we are them and we are you and you are us. And that goes to show once again that they cannot be the people of Israel. Because as we're reading, it says, he hath punished the great prostitute, America, who corrupted the earth with her immorality. He hath avenged the murder of his servants. And the 48ers have not been persecuted, afflicted, murdered by the American country, right? By America and its institution hasn't been, disenfranchised. It has not been, targeted, right? Everything that that the 48ers have, or here in America, or should I say, everything that America does, it's to appease the 48ers.
And then it isn't supposed to be that way. But I'm going to stop right there. He didn't get to the part about division. But if you want to watch the rest of the video, be my guest. There go the title of it. There go bruh channel. Stay in the true spirit. 144. No, stay in the spirit. Stay in the spirit. 144. Slock. When I'm done, man, I got to give my eyeballs some time to rest. I've been looking at this monitor for so long. So close. But 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And the spirit of his mouth be Yahweh's prophets, exposing these devils of who they truly are through the spirit of Yahweh, even him who's coming after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. And who that him be? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's red. He's a baby dick sucking Jewish faggot nigga. Yep. But even when this devil's being exposed, these niggas, the Lord is still allowing these devils to continue on with their plans, because they working fast and they know they got a short time, so they got to hurry up and get what they can get before the Lord returns and ends this bullshit. But anyway, and really perform some prophecies, or really have prophecies break off, because these niggas, they're faking the funk with they form of prophecies, because that shit that they trying to make, it ain't written in the Bible. No, the stuff they got going on right now, I mean, they saying that they perform, this is all prophecies of happen. No, they haven't, nigga. You're a bunch of lying ass niggas, and the Lord's about to make y'all, gonna expose you niggas. Y'all already being exposed. In just a little more time, this shit be over with. But anyway, man, seek Yahweh Shema Shah by seeking his props and take heed what it say, and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preach, keep on teach, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.